I wanted to share my recording setup for anyone else who's interested in either live streaming or recording some coding videos. So I am using this amazing piece of software called OBS Studio. It's free and open source and multi-platform, as you can see. I've only used the Mac version, but let's start this thing up. So let me run through some of the settings really quick. So in the stream, you can choose your streaming service and you put your stream key in here, and as soon as that's set, it's good to go. You can click the start streaming button right away. I've used Twitch. YouTube, I think, is another interesting one. It lets you potentially have a higher bit rate. In the output tab, this is the default bitrate, 2500, which is perfect for Twitch. If you're using YouTube, you may be able to experiment with a bit of a higher bitrate. However, you do want to keep in mind that any viewers of your stream need to be able to download at that bitrate as well, at least on Twitch. Here in the recording section, I have a pretty powerful laptop, so I have set the recording to be a higher quality than the stream, which does take more CPU power, but you may want to experiment with that if you want high quality videos to upload later after the stream. Audio, I haven't changed anything in here. Video, so I've chosen 720p as my output resolution. And for Twitch, I think that's the best choice. Also, I didn't want to go too high because it makes the text sizes awfully small on the screen because not everyone has a huge monitor. But also for Twitch, for the 2500 bitrate, 720p is, from what I've read, the best resolution you can maintain a reasonable FPS for. I think I may want to play with the base canvas size a bit more. I think if I tried doubling this, it might give a better, smoother scaled output, but that's something I haven't played around with much, so I've just left these both at 720p for the moment, and it's worked pretty well. Hotkeys, I haven't done much with this yet, but there's a lot you can do. Basically, you can add a hotkey to switch scenes, to turn overlays on and off, to do all kinds of stuff. And advanced, I haven't changed any settings in here. So, to take a quick look at the scene setup, first of all, you have profiles, and each profile has its own independent set of scenes. So if you want multiple setups, you can do that with profiles. So let's take a look at my main scene here, coding. So this first source is my other external monitor, which has a different aspect ratio. So since I've got a 16:9 overall output, I wanted to use a 4:3 aspect ratio monitor, and then I can put all my other, my webcam and my preview over on the side. Video capture, that's my webcam. Browser is this cool thing where you can capture a specific window. So I usually have a web browser window showing the output of my app, and it sits right in the middle. I've got a logo for when the browser's not up, and this notes thing is reading from a file, and if I change and edit the file at any time, it'll automatically update the overlay. And that's just a few of the things you can add. You can also add other you can add other audio input devices or media files to play that should turn on when you activate the scene. Browser close-up, that's basically the same thing, just with everything rearranged differently. And yeah, here on this scene I have some different music, so I can choose the one I want and it'll play. You've got a mixer over here on the side. And then I also have a couple different backgrounds that are video files that I can turn on and off. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, I did want to show, it's pretty nice and easy to store your configuration in a Git repository. On the Mac, this is the folder here, Library Application Support OBS Studio, and I did make a git ignore file that you can find on my GitHub. And here's the important parts in here, these service.json files, and also in the RTMP services folder, that's where your credentials and your streaming keys get stored. So I've ignored those files, and then everything else in here, well, there's some binary data in this font folder and in the profile of data, and the logs are kind of unnecessary, and there's backup files. So with this git ignore, I've just been able to commit the rest of that configuration folder and save everything on my GitHub. So I guess that's it. If you do any video recording or streaming, especially if it's Elm programming stuff, please let me know at avh4 on Twitter. Oh yeah, and one more thing. If you are using background videos or music in any of your videos or streams, make sure they are appropriately licensed. So a good way to find stuff is to search for Creative Commons video loops for backgrounds or music. And when you do find something, make sure you double check that the license is appropriate for you to use, and also take note of whether or not you need to attribute the author of the piece of work. So here are a couple sites that have some good resources. This one on the Creative Commons site, Legal Music for Videos, has a whole bunch of other sites where you can find Creative Commons licensed music. And remember, there are a lot of different Creative Commons licenses, so make sure you verify that you're using an appropriate license for your use. Here's another good site I found at Media Commons. Has a whole bunch of resources both for audio, static images, and for video. So hopefully that's helpful. Also, if you watch any of my other YouTube videos, you can see the links to where I got the specific music and backgrounds used in those videos.